Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got some more plans for the 240 today. As you can see, it is coming along. I did want to give you a little update. As you can see, I added to the wall back here, we got a little GK Tech banner going on. So the banner wall is coming along. We're about halfway across the garage. Pretty exciting. The reason I actually have this banner is because I did this off camera, but we actually put some GK Tech polyurethane subframe bushings in the subframe. So we got bushings on all four corners right now, so we are all good to go. I do want to apologize. There is no video of me actually installing those bushings. One, because it's a pretty boring process. It's pretty simple. You just press them in. And two, those four bushings actually took me an entire day. So it would have been a pretty boring video. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You would have had to watch me struggle to put four bushings in a total of about 4 hours. Definitely was not enjoyable. So today, what our plan is as you can see, I got the Diff up on the table here. We're going to be painting the actual Diff housing. The cover here, we're gonna have sandblasted, so we're not gonna worry about painting this quite yet, but we do have to drain it out, clean it and everything. But I did get some weld-in brackets, so we're gonna be welding that up, which is why we're not painting the cover quite yet, because we're gonna have to take that off and clean it all out. So we're gonna weld that bad boy up so we can shred, but we are going to be focusing on painting the actual housing. So we're just gonna do a nice coat of black paint. As you can see right there, I got some Rust-Oleum gloss black. So we're just gonna freshen that up. We're probably gonna paint the axle stubs as well while they're still in there. I will be replacing the seals and everything in there, but I'm still waiting on shipping, so shout out for that. So today's main goal, we're gonna go ahead and get the Diff painted and cleaned out and everything, basically get it ready to be welded up, because the plan is, today is Sunday, so this coming Saturday, hopefully we are taking it to a good buddy of mine, Wes, which if you don't know, he also has a YouTube channel. Definitely would recommend checking him out. I'll put him on the screen right here, just so you guys can go ahead and check him out, support him for me. It would mean a lot. But anyway, we're gonna go to his buddy's shop. He is a fabricator, and we're gonna get the Diff welded up. So we're gonna get it prepared, ready to go. So first things first, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pop the cover off, drain everything out. As you can see, I got some brake clean right here, and we're gonna clean it out. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, so after a couple of minutes of prying and hammering, the cover is off, sitting on my drain pan. As you can see, that is all the leftover that was in there. And then here you have your differential. So I'm gonna do you guys a little bit of learning real quick. If you guys don't know what this is, so this is your car's rear differential. Some cars, you know, if they're all-wheel drive, they'll have a couple of them, but this is a rear-wheel drive car. So the power just goes from the engine to the transmission to the differential and then to the axles, which drive your wheels. So what this does, your drive shaft hooks to the front right here, right? Spins that. In turn, spins these internals, which then translates this direction to this, so it can drive your wheels. The reason we will be welding this, let's see if I can spin it. So these are what you call your spider gears, these small ones that kind of make a square in the middle. So these spider gears in an open differential like mine, as you can see, it's open in the middle. What that allows it to do is these two sides can spin independently of each other, which we do not want to happen, because then you do one wheel peels or one wheel burnouts. So what we need to do is, I got some plates coming in, so you drop that plate in there, weld all four of those spider gears together, and then these will actually spin at the same time, which allows us to do some mad skid stuff with it. So we're definitely gonna weld that up. What we're gonna do right now is I'm just going to spray this out with my fancy brake clean back here, get all of the residual oil that's left out of there, so that way it is nice and clean and basically ready to weld. To paint it, I'm gonna actually pop the cover back on, paint it, so that way I don't really have to worry about masking this. I'll just pop this on, leave it pretty loose, paint the housing, and then take the cover back off once the paint is dry. As you can see, the gasket has definitely seen better days. This is probably the same gasket from the 90s. It's like a crusty paper gasket, so definitely pretty disgusting. So all we're gonna do, take our trusty can of brake clean, put it in there, and just go to town until everything is clean. So we're gonna go ahead and get that done. Once this is done, I will show you guys the finished product. So we got it all cleaned out. As you can see, everything is good. There's not a whole lot of oil residue in there where I need to get everything welded up. You can spin it all the way around. They are clean pretty much everywhere. It does look like the clearances in the Diff are good as well, because if you kind of jiggle it, there's not really any free play in both those and the main one. Maybe a little bit there, but that's pretty normal. That's really about it though. So it seems like it's in pretty good shape. I think once we weld it, we will be good to go. So I got it all cleaned off. I'm gonna throw the cover back on so we can get started with some paint. I did wire wheel it, and well, I did already spray it off with a pressure washer and wire wheel it a little bit. As you can see, it's in pretty good shape. I think all we'll really have to do is maybe wire wheel it one last time real quick and put some acetone on there or something like that, and then the paint should stick just fine. I am going to paint these while they're in the diff, because there's a seal in there, so I figured that'll probably seal off the paint from getting inside of it. I'm gonna be replacing that seal anyway as well. So we're pretty much just gonna paint the whole thing at one time. It doesn't really need it, as you can see, it's pretty clean, but I figured just putting a coat of paint on it will definitely help just kind of seal it up and make everything all nice and good. That gasket around it will obviously be gone at some point. We're gonna replace that because it's disgusting. And then we will get the cover sandblasted. So I'm gonna go ahead, plop the cover back on. I'm gonna move it over here to my handy painting station, as you can see. And then we're gonna go ahead and just slap some paint on it, and it should look really, really good by the time we're done. All right guys, so a couple hours later, finally, after waiting for all of the paint to dry, the differential is all painted up. As you can see, I got it sitting right here. There is no cover on it quite yet. I'm gonna put a bag over it because I did take the cover off, as I mentioned before. Cover's chilling down here. I'm gonna throw that in a box, but I will be getting the cover sandblasted. So that's gonna look basically brand new on the back of this thing. I think I'm just gonna clear coat it, so it's gonna be nice, crispy black ceramic paint, and then a nice, freshly sandblasted aluminum cover. It'll basically be looking brand new. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when I was painting, I did mask the ends of my little axle shafts because I didn't want to get any paint on that little machine surface that's in there. So I figured that that would be a good idea, but this came out really, really good. I put the coats on super thick. Obviously it doesn't have to look the best because it's gonna be underneath the car, but it did turn out really, really good. This thing pretty much looks brand new, and I should never have to worry about it rusting or anything like that. I did paint the front little spindle right there, so that's looking really, really good. And then I did paint the sides of my axle shafts. So I made sure to put a nice thick coat of paint on there. Everything looks really, really nice. As you can see, those spider gears, next time you see them, they should be welded up, so that'll be real nice. I gotta get the rest of this gasket off of here so we can replace that. But it is pretty clean, so I'm gonna be taking it to the shop hopefully this coming weekend to get that thing welded up. So that will be super nice. But the paint definitely came out really, really good, nice and thick on there. Shouldn't have to worry about this thing rusting anytime in the future. So definitely got done what I needed to get done today. So we are good to go. Next time you see this thing, it will be welded up and have a nice fresh cover on it, so it should look really, really good. I did leave all of my bolts for the cover and everything over there, so I will be wire wheeling those down, making sure they look brand new by the time they go back in. So this thing is pretty much ready to go, just needs to get welded, and then it'll be ready to throw back in the subframe. I did also want to mention too, I did go to Harbor Freight and I got this little vise right here. So this is just a 5-inch vise. Shout out to my girlfriend's dad for actually donating me this workbench. It already has the holes drilled in it even, so it fits really good, which makes it nice and easy. But so this vise is gonna be helping us next weekend because we're gonna be rebuilding all of that junk. We're basically gonna be doing lower control arm rebuilds and all of the knuckle bushing. So we'll be spraying down the knuckles, getting those painted, spraying down the control arms, getting those painted, and everything will be pretty much brand new. But that about does it for this video. I didn't really have a whole lot to do today, but I did want to make a little bit of progress. I know it's not always the most interesting thing to watch videos like this. They are a little bit shorter, but for those of you guys who like all of the small updates and really want to stay tuned in and up to date with the build, these really help. So next weekend, we're going to be taking care of those, getting those all fresh. I'll order the suspension components and everything. My bushing should be here by then. So by the end of next weekend, we should have a welded diff, rebuilt lower control arms, and fresh knuckles. So then the only thing that'll be left is axles, and then the rest of my control arms, which will be aftermarket. So that keeps it nice and easy. So we're getting very, very close. Everything is pretty much good to go. Subframe's painted with bushings, diff's painted, it'll get welded. So that's enough talking for this video. I'm really looking forward to the next one because that'll be a big step forward. We'll definitely be really close. I do want to say thank all of you guys who keep tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one.